So as you follow along to this routine, all our sticks that we use are color coded. And if you buy yours off of Amazon or Temu or wherever you buy your tools, if you bought the same ones, they obviously don't come color coded. So I'm just gonna show you and explain which are which, just so that you know. So we don't use these first two because they're too big to use for anything, so you can just set those aside, because in most of my videos, we don't use them. And so you're left with these. So in this order, you can look, and it basically goes in this order from biggest to smallest: green, blue, white, yellow, pink, and black, down to the smallest one. For today's notebook class, I was using these colors, and because we need multi-surface paint for the notebooks, multi-surface paint doesn't come in a lot of varieties, so I did a lot of mixing for this paint palette. So for paint color A, I took Craft Smart multi-surface white and added a little bit of Craft Smart multi-surface honey mustard. For paint color B, I used Craft Smart multi-surface gold ochre. For C was a mix of 3 colors: Decor Americana multi-surface, lipstick, pumpkin patch, and coffee bean. I did mostly the pumpkin patch, a little bit of brown, and a little bit of red. So that was for paint color C. For paint color D, I used Craft Smart multi-surface camouflage with some of the white. And same for paint color E, I just added more white to the green. And for paint color F, I used Craft Smart multi-surface radiant gold. Okay, are we ready to get started?
Yes.
Okie dokie. Okay, so if you look at your notebook, you'll see 3 dots, and one of them is the center for this one, and then we're gonna do 2 smaller ones. So we're gonna start with this first bigger one. So we're gonna take the blue stick with paint color A. And you're just gonna put it right on top of that little dot.
And keep your stick straight up and down.
Okay, so next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly, the smaller end, with paint color E. E as an elephant.
E is an elephant. And the smaller end.
So another very important thing about mandala is making sure that your design is as symmetrical as possible. Okay, so when you draw at home, you can draw guide marks to keep you more on track, but there's a way that you can do it without, so I'm gonna teach it to you, I guess. So you're gonna put 1 dot like that, and then 1 right across from it.
These are the small red ones.
Yes. Then you're gonna find the center of these and put it to the side like that, and then 1 across from that one. So you get this north, south, east, west. Okay? Once you have these 4 dots, you're gonna put another dot in between those gaps so that you end up with 8.
Of the same color?
Yes, same color, same size. Okay, and one last step. You're gonna do still same size, same color, and you should be able to fit one more dot in the gaps that are left so that you end up with 16 dots.
Oh, okay.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly again, but the bigger end with paint color C as in cat. And we're gonna put dots basically in between, but above the ones we just did. So we're not putting them exactly in between, but like above a little bit. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So how many do we have all around?
16.
So we're putting them
North.
above each one, or in between?
In the space.
In the space between each one, right?
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the little black stick
Black stick, the little black stick. Got it?
with paint color D,
D,
D is in what?
dog.
D.
D, okay?
And we're gonna do the same thing, except this time we're gonna skip a gap, okay? So we're putting it in between but above, but we're gonna skip a gap. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the white twirly,
White,
bigger end,
and
with paint color F. And we're gonna put these dots in between the big ones we just did. Big end. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink stick with paint color A. And we're gonna put these dots above the small ones we just did.
A, small one.
Yes, A.
Wait a minute.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly with paint color B. And we're gonna walk the dots. So using the bigger end for this first dot, then you'll switch to the smaller end and walk the dots around
Okay, so we're gonna do
halfway,
this.
and then redip B.
B. So we do the larger end and then the smaller ones, right? The
Yes,
smaller.
and you can do the first dot all the way around and then walk the dots.
Yeah, I put the big dot and then switch the ends. So put the big dot all the way around and then
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly again with paint color E, and we're gonna walk the dots again. So bigger end, the first dot, and then you'll switch to the smaller end to walk the dots.
Is E as an elephant?
Yes. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly, the smaller end with paint color C as in cat, and we're gonna start here in between, and you're gonna drag up to the top, and then start at the same spot and then go the other way. Like this, like little birdies.
Really?
I told you that's the hardest part, is those swirly things.
And is
Which
the-
end do we do,
which
the
end?
right end or the left?
Smaller end. Yes. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly, bigger end with paint color A. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna place one dot like that, and then one dot right above it, and two dots to the side like this, so you get 4 dots like that.
Okay.
And that's the bigger end.
That's the
Yes, bigger end.
I've lost it.
What kind of stuff do you do?
I can look at textiles.
Oh.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink stick with paint color B, B as in boy, And we're gonna put a dot right above the 4 like that.
Right above.
The pink dot line.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly with paint color D as in dog, and we're gonna walk the dots. So using the bigger end for this first dot, and then you'll switch to the smaller end to walk the dots.
D. So we're gonna
Walking
do
the dog.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly again with paint color F, and we're gonna walk the dots again using the bigger end for this first dot, except you're not gonna switch to the smaller end, you're just gonna re-dip with the bigger end and walk the dots with the bigger end.
Alright. I think I can do that.
And not switching.
It's nice switching.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the white twirly with paint color E as an elephant, and we're gonna walk the dots. So bigger end for this first dot, and then you'll switch to the smaller end to walk the dots.
Pink color what?
E.
Two ends, right?
Yes. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the white twirly, bigger end, with paint color C. Yes.
Okay.
And we're gonna start here in between the first and the second dot of the walking the dots, and we're gonna swoosh down and around like this.
One of these.
That's hard. I'm scared.
Me too.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the black stick.
Black stick. A little bitty black stick. Okay.
With paint color A. And you're gonna put a dot right here, kind of in between.
Okay.
And then also using the same tool and same color, we're gonna put dot right up there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, next step is the white twirly, smaller end with paint color A.
It does. It really does.
Cause it's a minor name.
Just kind of fills it down.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the white twirly, bigger end with paint color A.
Okay.
This is where you're gonna split into two. You're gonna start here and kind of walk dots along like that,
Oh, to the top. Okay.
and then do the other side too, like this.
The big end or small end?
Big end.
Big end.
On all of them?
Yes. Okay, next up we're gonna take the little black stick with paint color B as in boy. And you're gonna place a dot here, like that, and one right above it, leaving a little gap. And then you're gonna put two on the side, like this. So they get 4 dots, like that.
I've run out of plastic.
Which sticker are you on, the pink?
Black.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the black stick again with paint color C, and we're gonna overlap this dot over here. But you still wanna leave a sliver of the original color.
Oh, okay. Of C.
The second circle.
The second circle around.
Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the smaller designs, but as you can see, this one turned out a little bigger than wanted.
Yeah.
So if you don't have enough room, you could say here, you could do it kind of to the side like this, or to over here. You could just kind of figure it out. So you'll kind of approximately find the center of the corners, and we'll do the small ones. Okay, so we're gonna take the white stick with paint color A and place the middle dots for these designs.
Pick an area and go.
Okay, next up we're gonna take the pink twirly smaller end with paint color D, D as in dog. And we're gonna do, so you're gonna place one dot. We're gonna do the north, south, east, west. So you're gonna place one dot and then one right across from it. Small end, yes.
Small end, thank you, had the wrong end. And do the.
And then one right across. Try and find the middle of those two and do one across. And then across from that, so you get these 4 dots. And you'll do this on both of the big dots we just made.
Because they're gonna be identical in theirs.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Then once you have these 4 dots, you're gonna place one dot in the middle of those so that you have 8. And then once you have those 8, you should be able to fit one more in between the gaps to end up with 16.
The same color.
Yes, same color, same size.
One more in between.
Smaller end, yes. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly smaller end and with paint color C as in cat, and we're gonna put these dots in between but above all the way around. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly bigger end with paint color B as in boy, and we're gonna do the same thing. Put it in between but above all the way around. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the black stick
Black stick.
with paint color E as an elephant,
E is an elephant.
and we're gonna put it in between but above, but skipping a gap. So you should end up with 8. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the yellow twirly, smaller end, with paint color A. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put one dot like this, then you're gonna redip, and you're gonna start next to it and drag around, and then the other way, like that. Smaller end, yes.
Is either the first one or the big one?
No, you want to stay with the smaller end.
All small end.
Okay, next step. We're gonna take the white twirly, smaller end, with paint color F. And we're gonna put a small dot in between, kind of like this.
Small end, yeah.
Okay,
Decided to do the dots all
this is the hardest. No, just kidding. This is the last step.
We can do last step.
Okay, so we're gonna take the white twirly bigger end
Okay,
with paint color C,
okay.
and you're gonna place one dot like this, and then one dot above it, leaving some room, and then two dots on the side, so that you get 4 dots like this.